Alright, hello everyone. This is Exodarian here, coming to you after, well, some time with a new video on Hyrule Conquest, but mainly the AI. Let's just say it's been quite a while since I made a video for Hyrule Conquest, but I suppose you could say personal life and some other motivations were getting in the way. But I finally decided to get back into Hyrule Conquest. I'm kind of happy to really get back into making things and developing the AI. I've been talking with Nephilim quite a few times again and discussing the project and the future of the project and what to do, like what we would like to see for the next release and whatnot. So that's all great. That's all ongoing. Something to look forward to, of course, the fairies in Labrina and a few new mechanics that we've been talking about, but I'm not gonna spoil anything of that yet. I mean, maybe some people in the Discord already know, but anyway, I've been working on the AI for at least a few days again. I'd say a week at this point. I was just going to show what the AI can do right now and what to expect from the AI in the future as well, and when to expect a release, of course, because obviously I myself as well, but I believe most people out there who enjoy playing Hyrule Conquest would really like to see an AI. I've been seeing quite a few comments, not just in the Discord, but also on other platforms where people have been responding to the fact that most of the AI is just non-existent for quite a few of the newer factions out there. But it is being developed, so don't worry. It's just gonna take some time. And to be honest, at this point, I'm quite happy with where the AI is at right now. It's most parts are still somewhat basic, but polished into or at least polished enough that I would be confident to release them to the public. At least most of the systems that I have created are in such a state right now. So that's all great. And the last thing that I really still want to get in before I do the first playtests for the public, probably some people from the Discord first before we actually release a ModDB version, but it's pretty much just defense and attacking that has to be done. I'm just gonna go over what I've been doing over the past week, discuss what's been going on with that. So let's just start with the first thing that I did when I got back into things was bartering. And so bartering is pretty much what the AI does when it comes to the market. And well, of course, with bartering, I mean that the AI will trade resources, a specific amount of resource for another resource. So I'm not gonna go into the nitty-gritty details on how the AI does this and how it evaluates its options, but at least you should know that the AI has the capability to do something like that right now. Also, of course, trading is in place for traders. They will train their traders properly now. Certain evaluations as well. They will make those merchants set up a trade route, set up trading rates. The trading rates are a quite interesting thing. It's all based on percentages, and it's mostly based on the amount that the AI currently has. So let's say the AI would have 1,000 food and 500 material. The AI would obviously try to get material, or at least material is more important at that point than food would be. So the AI is trying to balance the four resources out, at least somewhere around the mid game. The AI really starts to crank down on this when it gets its trading route set up. It really tries to balance out the resources. But yeah, another significant change to just get in on that I've changed the balancing of resources at the start of the match. And so with that, I've also set up a start strategy system, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But first of all, another thing that the traders did is whenever the traders would get near a foundation, and the foundation was about to be built by one of the citizens, then the traders would just continuously walk into the foundation, and then a script inside of the unit AI would tell these traders to, remove themselves from the foundation because they're in the way of the foundation. But then after they would be outside of the border, outside of the range of that specific foundation, they would resume their trade route instantly, and they would move back inside the foundation. And if there were, I'd say, around 10 to 15 plus of these traders, the game would just, or it would just be a vicious cycle, and the building would never be built, and the traders would also just technically be stuck in place. You know, of course they're still moving around, but they constantly move in and out of the foundation, so the vicious cycle never ends. So this is another thing that I had to properly deal with, so I'm actually quite happy with how I dealt with that. So now that I've talked about that, another thing that I put in place is the tech system. This was another feature that wasn't implemented yet, that the AI will consider text outside of just the phasing up text, because that was already done some time ago. But the AI will now, based on a priority given in the config file, because actually, well, first of all, the reason I put the system in place is functioning right now is because because not all technologies are viable yet, and that's not just in my opinion, but there are also specific technologies out there that just don't work as intended at all. And I also think a rebalance in terms of costs is definitely necessary at some point. But so what I've done right now is I've taken all of the text that I personally believe are viable, and most of the active Hyrule Conquest community actually believes is viable to get, and so I've put those all into the config file. And the Gerudo specifically, because I'm testing with the Gerudo at the moment, they are currently able to get their technologies based on priorities, and so of course you don't want the AI to only prioritize technologies. That wouldn't make any sense, so there has to be specific balance between those things. So yeah, another thing that came with the whole technology thing is that certain units can be upgraded. So a good example would be the Gerudo Trader. They have a technology which upgrades them with a camel, and so they will technically become a new unit, and also according to the files, but the files didn't know yet how to deal with that in terms of training, so there was another system I had to set up for that, but I won't go into too much detail on that. But they're all little things that definitely take some time and consideration, and for the people that wonder, like, why does it take so long to get the AI to work and implement it, why does it take so long to get an AI released? So yeah, that's one of the reasons. There's also more config data in terms of for citizens and militia specifically, because I really wanted to improve the early economy, because early economy is such an important part of not just Hyrule Conquest, but most RTS games out there, and Hyrule Conquest is no exception on that. And so the AI now currently really tries to have an early economy boom, and I put in a few caps on that to allow for something like that to happen more significantly in, like I said, especially in the early game. Another thing that corresponds with that is a start strategy system, which I've also set up. I can give specific factions a setup of which buildings, not even just prioritize, but a specific building setup. So I can actually tell the AI, okay, so the first thing you should build is a house, and then you should build a drop site, and then you should build another house, and then a market, and so on and so forth. And of course, this isn't meant to be used all the time. This is just meant to be a very quick starting strategy for the AI. So if you know how the config file works, it's not very difficult. It's a single file. So most people out there who have some knowledge of XML files and how to edit text files in general, you would just be able to go in there and set up your own starting strategy. But this is mainly relevant for buildings alone, and so it's also not recommended to set up a very long list. Although if you really wanted to have a very specific list, you could do that. But I also like to have the regular code handle, or I would probably a better word to use is parameters, like that the AI uses its parameters to get to a specific state that it wants to be in, rather than just use a forced start strategy for a very lengthy amount of time. But anyway, I've watched a few games where or both AIs, of course, they're not attacking or defending yet, but at least their economy and how they start up their base is actually quite a bit better, in my opinion, now that I've made this start strategy system. And so another thing that really helps is that I've put a banning system in place for resources, and this can be, it's quite flexible, so it can be extended in the future, but right now the only way I'm using it is that the AI can ban certain resources from being gathered, so it can focus on more important resources. And so for the Gerudo, during the start strategy, what they really need is material and food, and so I ban metal and rupees, so the AI will actually focus on material and food first. And this also really seems to have a very nice impact on the early economy boost that the AI now has. And of course this is currently set on a limited time frame, so it's currently set until the start strategy has been finished, and that's when it will go back to their regular resource state, so it will deem every resource viable again to be gathered. But this ban only counts for gatherers and not for traders, so because the traders are still out there to get everything in balance. Of course, there've also been other minor elements that have been fixed and edited and whatnot, but I'm not going to go into too much detail. I think I've already gone into plenty of detail for the people who are interested, and so I'll just leave it with that. So yeah, anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I really hope that a lot of people out there are actually excited for the AI. I'm actually personally quite excited for when the attacking and defending is done, so I can finally pit factions against each other and have them duke it out. And of course, when that happens, I'll probably put another video out there where you can watch the AI collide with each other, and from there on, more improvements can be made. Just a little hint: there is one system that I've been talking about specifically, which I think is going to be really cool. It's somewhat niche, but I actually, or niche. It's not necessarily niche. It's more late stages of AI development, but. Is that I really want to have an inherent diplomacy system where, for the people who are aware of Hyrule Conquest's campaign mode, there is a dialogue section in there with portraits and sounds, and I would like to use that system as well in the skirmish modes, where the AI will really interact with you as a player. Of course, it's not going to be to the level that certain RPG games would do it, but I really want to give characters a specific vibe, and that you are really, I mean, obviously you're still playing with an AI, but the AI really tries to interact with you, and I think that's going to be it's going to be a really awesome system. So I can't wait to show that when that's finally ready to be shown off as well. So yeah, one final thing I almost forgot to mention is it's a pretty minor thing, but it's definitely necessary for this system, funnily enough, is that AI names are now aligned with the hero that's being picked. So if you see a name pop up that says General Urbosa or Emperor Ganondorf, I think that's his name, like his prefix is Emperor. If it says Emperor Ganondorf, the AI will actually pick Ganondorf and not another random hero. And so also with, like I said, with Urbosa or Naboru, then the AI will pick Naboru instead of any other hero if its name is actually Naboru. And so that's another feature I think some people were commenting about. So yeah, anyway guys, that's all I really wanted to talk about for this video. So I really hope you're looking forward to the AI, and have a good one.